have it. So, okay, you know what the title is here, Make It Big on Alignable, learning how to boost your business. Why we're here today? Well, let's face it, everybody on Alignable wants to make it big on Alignable and make the most out of their time. So this is just one of the educational resources we have for you. And really, we want you to post questions. We want you to really ask our guests what will help them succeed the most on Alignable. As I say here, some are knocking it out of the park, while others need some peer-to-peer guidance. And listen, that's another big part of Alignable. That's why we're here. We're all here for peer-to-peer guidance. And learning from successful members is beneficial for everyone. So again, that's why we're so excited about this. I'm jumping out of my seat. We have our superstars here, Kerri, Karel, and Eric Bell. I know it sounds great. They rhyme, and I'm probably going to be saying that several times because I just love the sound of those two names together. And they're creating magic together for us here. They're here to share their success secrets. And we're really thrilled they're here. So here, Eric Bell is of My Effortless Marketing, and he's the CEO and founder, right, Eric?
That is correct.
Okay, terrific. And then Kerri is with Key Elements Consulting and is a strengths and leadership coach, which is awesome. And we do want to find out more about, oh, that's a funky title. We want to find out more about what that actually is. It sounds powerful. So that's exciting. And then what we really want to just go right into is talking to you both about why you're here today and how you've been able to knock it out of the park on Alignable. So Kerri, why don't you start and tell us where you're coming from and some of your background, some of what you told me about already.
Okay, well, as a strengths and leadership coach, I help small business owners, especially new small business owners and leaders, new leaders, discover what their strengths are. We all have natural talents, which we turn into strengths when we combine it with knowledge and experience and practice. And I teach them, or we come up with strategies to leverage those talents to really take their business further and farther. And and this is actually a new thing for me. I pivoted my business offering this year since I have been on Alignable.
Wow.
So we can talk about that a little bit.
Terrific. And Eric, how about you?
Yeah, so my overall goal, we try to live up to our name, My Effortless Marketing, and our tagline is Easy Does It. We realize that a lot of local businesses don't know where to start with digital marketing. So we try to be that anchor to help them get started with their foundation all the way through to their strategy and the tactics that are deployed to make their online marketing happen.
Super. So let's dive right into the next question, which always is, how in the world do people get customers on Alignable? You know, Sue hears it out on the road. I hear it from different people. How do I get customers on Alignable? I want more customers on Alignable. Kerri, how would you answer that?
Well, I think there are many ways to get customers on Alignable, and I'm not sure which one is working for me, so I'm going to keep doing all of them. But that includes, I provide value for other entrepreneurs. You know, you talked about peer-to-peer support. That's a huge thing for me. Serving each other well just makes us all better. I make well thought out connections. I meet regularly with others in my industry because I really believe iron sharpens iron. So it's great for my professional development. I've attended most of Sue's webinars when I first joined Alignable because I immediately wanted to know how to be successful on Alignable. So I attended all of those webinars. I join and participate in groups. I attend and facilitate mastermind meetings, Smart Connects. I attend my local alliance for which I'm an ambassador. But those connections, building those personal relationships is really where it's at for me. And that all those other activities contribute to building relationships with other business owners, many of whom will turn out to be strategic referral partners as opposed to just finding customers on Alignable. But it's a long game. Alignable's the long game. It's not, I didn't come on Alignable and expect to get customers in the first 5 minutes. I have to invest the time in the platform.
I do want to point out, I mean, Kerri, you have a great record. And Kerri, you know, based on what you sent me, you know, you really got going on Alignable in March of this year, right?
Right.
And you've already increased your business by, and we said conservatively, 40%.
Right. Right. And part of that was I was executive director of an organization when I lived in Knoxville, Tennessee, called Entrepreneurs of Knoxville. And it was really Alignable before Alignable was Alignable. We met in person once a week. We poured into each other. We helped one another, supported one another, and built relationships from that. So once I got on Alignable, I immediately understood the platform and what your mission is and what you're trying to accomplish. So I was able to sort of dig in right away and get to work in building those relationships.
And you have an amazing story. I mean, we probably need to do a webinar just on that at some point. I mean, that really is something else, which is fantastic. So Eric, talk to us a little bit about how you get customers here, or how you'd respond to that question that a lot of people say, you know, again, I don't know how to get customers here. How do I do it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say a lot of what Kerri said, I follow, but for me, it's been kind of a servant's mentality, meaning giving more than I'm taking. So going in and being a part of groups, being a part of the local alliance here in Portland, which I'm the ambassador of as well, and just giving back from a knowledge standpoint. And that even goes as far as showing people how to use the Alignable platform. So for me and my success, it's been a long-term game. So it's not something that happens overnight. You have to build relationships. And I've made lots of friends on here, which has been fantastic for not only business, but exposure and opportunity.
I got to jump in here because I hope everybody is really noticing the similarities between these two. Kerri actually runs a servant leader group that we'll share in a little bit. And they have the same attitude. They have the same heart, I guess you could say. I don't know. And I met them both in person. So I know that they're like this. This is not fake in any way, shape, or form. They are completely honest, authentic, real people that really do want to help others. And the more they both told me in totally separately that the more they give, the more they're getting back. And they're doing it not to get anything back. And that really is the key to Alignable. That's what I've heard the most successful people say. So thanks for sharing that. And the other thing I want to bring up too, just because Kerri mentioned it, one of the things I noticed with Kerri right away, and I just went, okay, this girl gets it, is if you become a leader and you show that you're a leader in places, people are attracted to you. So one of the things Kerri started doing immediately is she took over the Networking for Introverts group that I had started when I first came on board. And she started masterminds. So I do masterminds every Friday. Kerri leads a lot of them. And then she started her own. Then she became an ambassador. And then I just noticed how connected she was and how much she's helping people. So I asked her to take over and do some of the trainings that I do. I'm on Alignable Now What, profile workshops, because when I can't do it, if I'm driving somewhere, I've asked her to help me. So look what she's done in a short amount of time. She's built a relationship with me and so many other people that now she's looked at as a leader on Alignable. And that's such a big, that's just huge. That's a big something to look forward to if that's something that you want to do. Right?
In a matter of just months. I mean, it's just amazing. Another question that comes up that we do want to tackle right off the bat too is, you know, a lot of people say, hey, you know, I'm not a premium member. Do I have to be a premium member? And also, how does that actually help in your networking, in everything that you're doing on Alignable? So we do want to get that question out of the way too, because it always comes up. So Eric, let me start with you. You know, why did you go premium and how has it helped you to build your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So not only am I premium, I'm premium plus, which is a no-brainer for me. The ROI on it has been phenomenal. So some of the things that you get with that membership is access to connect with more than the basic. And you get access to key performance indicators. You can see who's viewed your profile, follow up with those people. And there's just a ton of different things that help you with strategy by having that membership. And with Premium Plus, it allows me to really kind of dig into the different communities and network with people at the level that I like to network with them at.
And before we go,
sorry.
before we go any further though, we do want to say, I heard a rumor that you have generated another, I heard 150K, then I heard 200K in business.
Yeah,
so clear up that rumor for us and let us know how you've been doing.
It's not a rumor. I landed a client account that started at 150 and it's creeping towards 200K, which is fantastic. It's really helped our business grow. And with numbers like that, for small businesses, that can be a life changer.
Big time.
It certainly can. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Kerri, how about you? Why? And again, you're relatively new to the platform and you're already premium and you're already an ambassador. Why did you go premium and how has it helped you?
Well, one of the first reasons I went premium was I didn't just want 10 connections. If I did one thing wrong when I first joined the platform, is literally the first 5 minutes I was on the platform, I used all 10 of my connection credits. And then I went, well, that was a mistake, because if I met somebody in a Smart Connect, or I met somebody, or I saw somebody in a mastermind that I wanted to connect with, I either had to wait a month and send them a note and say, I'm not sure if you remember me, but I met you 28 days ago. And, you know, so I started rationing my credits. And then when I moved up to premium and went from 10 to 40, now I've got roughly 1.5 credits a day. I ration my credits because I want to be strategic in the people that I choose to connect with. And so in that strategy could be because I think there might be a good referral partner. Sometimes it's because I think I could help them in beefing up their profile, or what, that servant heart, that servant mentality. Or I think they could potentially just be a good connection in general. So that's why I've learned to ration my credits, and that strategy has worked really well for me. But of course, being premium also opened up the door to lead groups, to start a group, to be an ambassador. And the ambassador came because I heard about these great local alliances, and I'm like, well, I've got to go join the Albuquerque Alliance. And I found out there wasn't one. So I said, well, that's not going to stand. Let's create one. And it was perfect because Sue was actually going to be in town. So she got to kick off my brand new alliance at our very first meeting, which was amazing. We had a joint alliance with the Rio Rancho and Albuquerque. So that was wonderful. But premium opens the door to connect with a wider network. And that has really, really been beneficial. And then, of course, everything else that comes with it, as I mentioned, leading groups, which I'm sure we'll talk about more. And one of my recommendations to people who are considering going premium and maybe starting a group is start the group that you want. What the group that you feel is missing for you, start it. And then there's got to be other people that are missing the same thing. And so that's how they grow.
I love it. That's awesome. So, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought, but, so Kerri took over the Networking for Introverts group, and all of the things she's saying, I hope you take to heart, because she actually teaches this all the time too. And those credits, I think that's really cool how you do that. And it is good to keep up. But I wanted to say too, that when you become a leader like Kerri for sure has, and Eric in his communities, people will want to, when you're giving. So I know that when Eric goes into marketing groups and helps people in there, like he says he does, he doesn't have to connect with people because everybody else is going to see what he's doing, and he's helping others. They then use their connection credits to connect with him. So I know for a fact when Kerri leads our masterminds and all of those things, people are going and connecting with you guys, right? And you're not using your credits because you've created yourself as a leader to do that. So that's another thing that's pretty amazing too, that you can do. It's like, follow what they're doing. I copy them.
Well, and
Right?
I just wanted to chime in on the authenticity piece. It's very apparent when someone answers a question in such a way that is really, I'm really great by my stuff. And that is such a anti-magnet for people. And so that genuine desire to help comes through in what Eric posts or I post or many other. And those are the people I gravitate towards on Alignable that really have a heart to serve.
Yeah, I would say no one likes sales breath.
I haven't heard that one before.
Right. And show your expertise, help out. That's where, all the comments, all the groups of being able to be involved in the groups, leading them is great, but also joining some that you're not leading, but where you can lend your expertise really helps you stand out, which is hugely important. And again, it's that expression, just show up, set aside 15 minutes a day to go on Alignable, help other people out and see what happens in a week, see what happens in a month, right?
That is really good. And you know what? I get this question a lot. In fact, I just got it in one of the trainings I did. I'm going to ask, I want you guys to answer this. This is off the cuff. So people will ask me all the time, well, how much time should I spend on Alignable? Like, what do people just, somebody the other day said, do you just have to be here 24 hours a day? I'm like, no. So can either one of you, whoever wants to go, do you have like a system? Like, do you wake up in the morning, get your coffee, check your message? Like, do you have a system? Like, peel back the curtain. How much time do you spend on Alignable, and how do you manage that time? Who wants to go? Whoever wants to go.
I'll jump in on that one. So for me, It is a part of my daily regimen. I use the app, and I'm usually logged onto that, so I kind of monitor things as they come in and out. But I probably invest two hours a week into it.
Oh, wow, that's it. That's amazing.
Yeah. There's also the alignable groups, and those I would say probably I would invest probably 2 to 3 hours each into those a month. So it varies, you know. I would say just do whatever it takes. You'll kind of get a feeling for what makes the most sense for you.
That's awesome. I've heard a lot of people say that the really successful members saying that they actually set aside time to go and help people. It's like, I'm going to take this hour every Wednesday to just go in a group and just give and help people. But Kerri, do you have a system or how many hours you spend?
I do. I guess I'm a little bit crazier than Eric because I do spend a little bit more time than he does. But I block out certain things. So I lead the Introvert Mastermind on Monday mornings. I lead the Leadership Success Lab on Friday mornings. Sometimes that's right before your mastermind, which I'm in often as well. So I time block my calendar. I have specific blocks of time that are dedicated to Alignable. Some are specific events that I'm facilitating every week, but then other ones are events that I attend every week. And one of the things I have learned through the years, and it's even been magnified since I've been on Alignable, is I time block, but I have to honor my time. So when it's time to not be on Alignable and it's time to work on my clients, I get off Alignable and get the work done that needs to get done. If I don't do that, I've seen people that sometimes spend too much time on Alignable or on anything else, and they're just spinning their wheels because they're not working in their business. They're only working on their business. And there's a difference between those two.
Yeah, that's a great point. I echo that for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's extremely good advice.
So the flip of that is great advice, is you can still succeed on Alignable and do your business too. Like you don't just have to be working on networking and all of that, which of course is important. I mean, that's what we're all about. But if you set up that schedule, then it works for you. And that's terrific. That's such a great point too. And it's one that people assume, but a lot of times people do get carried away, right? And we all do. We all get carried away helping, doing other things and being distracted. But yeah, it's amazing you brought that up. One thing I did want to say here before we dive into the rest of the questions is there should be a banner up above our heads where if you're not a premium member yet, you can get a premium membership and the first month for free if you click on that banner and sign up before October 22nd. Sorry for the shameless plug, everybody, but I know this is going to benefit all of you, and it's a great way to try it out and also to take all this great advice and apply it with more credits and more visibility. So,
Yeah.
Sue, what's the next question you'd like to ask?
Yeah, actually, I see some questions that are being asked, and I get asked a lot, and I'd like to start with Eric for this, because a lot of people are asking about, well, what kinds of networking opportunities are there Alignable, and how do you go about networking? And I want Eric, if you can start by first telling everybody too, because I got that question as well. How did you get that big 200,000 a year client? Like, what did you do to get them? Was it through networking? I believe you told me it was. So
Yeah, it was through networking. The client actually was in a totally different line of business, and we connected on what was called a quick connect, then now a smart connect. And we had stayed in touch. They knew that I was growing the Portland Metro Alliance, and they wanted to help, but for personal reasons, they kind of fell back. And about 6 months later, I get a phone call saying, hey, my new company that I'm working for needs a marketing expert. Do you think you can help? And it was a follow-up just from having that relationship and staying in touch. So when I say plant the seeds, I really mean plant the seeds, because it takes time to grow and it doesn't happen overnight. It's one of those things that with that relationship, I gave advice and information and different things about marketing, and I built that trust and was looked at as a go-to person in my space, which is digital marketing. So going to the point of how to get started, what I did was I looked at my groups and what my areas of interest were, and I just started participating. And as a result of that, I became the moderator of all things digital marketing, which is growing to, I think, close to 11,000 people. Then we've got,
That's
yeah, it's exciting. And then I started the Portland Metro Alliance, and that's growing 700 to 800 members now. So that's growing nicely. And I just give back to that and trying to make sure that we have events and topics that our members really want to dig into is key. But for me, it's just getting involved is probably the biggest secret.
oh, that's awesome. And did you notice, you guys, he talked about Smart Connect. So when you go to events, when you go to your homepage and you can go look for events, and now there's this really awesome way to discover events happening. Like if you go on after this and say, hey, are there any Smart Connects happening this afternoon? You can actually go and find some Smart Connects that are happening this afternoon that you could join, or right then and there. And just think, I mean, the more that you get out there and you're networking and you're meeting more people. Look what happened with Eric. He got the biggest client he's ever had that way. So did you have any other comments on that too, as far as how to network on Alignable? A lot of people are asking, are there other networking opportunities, or what have you done, Kerri?
For me, my favorite type of event is masterminds, because you get to hear others be generous with their feedback, their experience, their advice, and share it. And from there, I figure out who I want to connect with based on what they've shared and what they've said. Masterminds are a really good way, I hate to say it this way, but to really identify the givers and the takers. You know, the givers are very generous with their expertise and wanting to share and help others. And as I said before, those are the type of people I gravitate towards, because that's my natural inclination, which I can tell it's Eric's as well. And the people that I have modeled myself after, that I've seen who are successful on Alignable, that's what they do as well.
Wow.
And Smart Connects are also a great way to start relationships. And one of the things I hear with Smart Connects often is people will say, well, you know, there was only 1 out of the 7 people I met with that I really wanted to connect with. And my answer is, that's awesome. You found one person that you really want to connect with. The other people just may not be a good fit, but there are 8 million of us on Alignable. So we all have our people on here. We just have to find them. And one of the strategies I employed to do that is, when I first joined Alignable, I joined way more groups that I could participate in. And I just spent a little time in there. I went to some events, I looked at what was posted, and so I sort of found my fit. So now I've got 3 levels of groups. I've got my inner circle of groups, which are the people that they're in my orbit and I stay with them a lot. A lot of them are in the same business, or they're other professionals that just make me better. I have found collaboration partners through that inner circle. In fact, there's a group of 7 of us entrepreneurs that all met on Alignable that have that servant's heart to help others. And we're collaborating. We have our first event on November 14th. And I'm super excited about that because we're all answering the question on how to network, how to be successful, on Alignable, but outside of Alignable as well. But we're all coming at it from our own unique perspective based on our skills and experience and what we do. So I'm super excited about that.
Awesome. Where do people find that event? Is it in your Servant Heart group?
It's not there yet, but if people go on my profile, I've got a link to the website that we created for that. And if you go to that website, it's actually got a link to all of our Alignable profiles on it.
Oh, wow.
As well. So super excited about that, but that's my inner circle of groups. And then I've got a middle circle, which are groups that I care a lot about the topic, the subject matter. So I participate in those. And then I've kind of got my drive-by groups, which are my outer circle that I'll go make a lap in every once in a while to see what's going on. And that's a strategy that's worked for me.
Okay, awesome. A couple of things really quick, just from what Kerri was saying, and I hope you really listened to the things she was talking about. Masterminds, just how they work is you come to a mastermind. We do them every Friday. She does her Networking for Introverts ones on every Monday. And you get a 5-minute, we call it a power seat, and you have to stay the whole hour. You participate, you get to ask a burning question of something that you need help with in your business. And then everybody gets to help that person for that 5 minutes, and then it goes to someone else. And it's just an amazing way to not only get your own question answered, but hear a lot of times other people's questions are also your questions. So you get so much out of it. But my favorite part, of course, is the helping part. You actually get to help other people as well. And then somebody was asking about how Smart Connects work. You go into a room with a bunch of other people and they call it SMART for a reason. The reason they changed it to SMART is that our software engineers built this amazing platform where you can go into this room and however you filled out your profile, when you choose those little tags on your profile that tell your ideal customers and your ideal referral partners, you will get beamed into a room with someone that might have actually match up with you, because the magic bots on Alignable will match you up with the people that you want to meet or who want to meet you. So it's pretty amazing. And then it's like speed networking. So just to clarify a couple of those. And I just saw another question came in. They said, what's your advice when new members say they can't afford a premium membership? Do either of you have a tip for them? Eric, do you have a tip for anybody that says that?
Yeah, my thought process on it is you can't afford not to do it because of the ROI. So that's my personal take on it. I know a lot of people are bootstrapping, and that's where I started my business. I started from scratch. I didn't have the funds, but I just made the investment, and the investment is worth it. And that's what I'll say. You don't have to do it, but just the amount of connections that you get and the ROI is incredible.
Right. And Kerri, did you have an answer for that as well?
I would echo everything Eric just said. It absolutely was an investment.
I love that. And also just to, piggyback on what they were saying is, if you get on your premium, you got to actually use it the right way. You have to use it. And it's funny when I see people post something or say, I'm not getting any customers on Alignable, this place doesn't work. And then you see all of the people like Kerri and Eric coming on and like, well, okay, Alignable's built this unbelievable platform that gives you every single tool you could possibly need. I can't think of any other tools Alignable doesn't have yet that they give you to be able to help. They help you match up with people that could be a customer or referral partner. You got to use the tools. Alignables, nobody's going to come and knock on your door and say, here's a whole bunch of customers. Good luck. It's like, that's not what's going to happen. You have to do the work, right? And I think you guys have all heard these two say that. So,
but
cool.
on top of that, it's only $30 a month, right? And that, again, I'm spending more than that a week at Starbucks. Every time I order something at Starbucks, it's $11.24. Okay, and I'm at Starbucks more than 3 times a week. And just think of that.
Terrible.
It's amazing, and I am thrilled that they've been continuing with that price, because ideally we really want something that's affordable for everybody, because we do have a lot of solopreneurs. We want you, as Sue said, to use it all the right way. That's why Sue's doing all these courses. That's why we're doing these webinars. That's why we have all of these tools that you can use. And believe me, the folks behind everyone here, they're always thinking of something new that will help small businesses, which is so exciting and really one of the great reasons to work here too. Exactly. So that's huge. I did want to ask this one question that came in about advice around more around the smart connects. You can meet up to 8 people an hour through smart connects. So that's a big deal, and that's just an hour of your time. And you see how it goes. And there are some people who are more or less addicted to smart connects. And whenever I host mine, I'm like, okay, Earl, you're back. Fantastic. Or Veronica or whatever. And there's a reason for that, because A, they're fun. We do need to make networking fun. Networking is not always fun, but we're trying to make it more fun and productive. But secondly, they are meeting great people, and all you have is 7 minutes. 7 minutes to talk. You're not pitching yourself. You want to find out more about how you can help the other person, but you get to show enough of your personality. And we've had former nurses who become friends. We've had all sorts of things, and we've only been doing the Smart Connects for less than a year. So those are really something to check out. And again, they're free. So, to answer the question, well, when you come in, and if you're not a premium member, you know what? First thing you should do is check out some Smart Connects and see what happens. So, yeah.
And then there's another, that's really, really good advice. And so I'm going to ask you guys too, because they want to know about posting. I get that a lot. I get that question a lot too. But when you go into groups and you're in your groups and you're posting things, do you guys have any tips on what to post, what not to post, how to get the most engagement on your posts? Either of you want to jump in on that? Eric, do you have?
Go ahead, Eric.
You started.
No, go ahead, Eric. That's okay. You go ahead, and then I'll go after you.
I would say don't advertise yourself. That's the quickest way to get blocked. Even if it's a really nice piece of advice, and then at the end it's like, by the way, go to my website. You don't want to do that. People will go to your profile naturally if they believe in what you're saying. And if they want to fact check and learn more about you, your profile's right there. It's just a click away. So keep that in mind. Also, typically keep it short and sweet if you can, unless you're in a group where they're asking for more detail. But if you look at the posts that get the most responses, you'll see they're quick one-liners, two-liners, and people seem to respond nicely to those. So that's just a quick summary. and I'm seeing a question that says, how does it differ from LinkedIn? I'm not on LinkedIn anymore. I mean, my profile's still there, but I get so many messages on how they can 10x my business with appointments that it's a turnoff. So I don't even compare it. It's night and day different. Go ahead, Kerri.
Again, you're reading my mail. I would echo everything you just said. When it comes to posting, I don't write a novel, first of all. And like Eric said, don't say, I'm so great, I'm going to answer your question by my stuff. Instead, give advice, really answer their question with no strings attached. I've started calling it my no strings attached generosity strategy, because when you don't have any strings attached, it's going to come back around for you. But if you have strings attached, you're cutting yourself off at the knees. And it becomes so easy to spot that when it happens on Alignable. In all the groups that I lead, I do a top 5 Tuesday post, which is my top 5 anything. One week it may be the top 5 reasons why I love Smart Connects. The next week it may be the top 5 reasons I love my dog. I mean, it's different every week. And then I do a thankful for Thursday post. Because if the world has a view of gratitude, we're all going to be better off. So I say one thing I'm grateful for, and I encourage everybody to say, what's one thing you're grateful for today? And those typically get a lot of engagement as well.
Brilliant. Brilliant advice. I hope you're all listening to this. Oh my goodness. I love the no strings attached. I love that. That's really good. Both of you. Wow. What else do we got? What other questions? Let's see.
The other thing I wanted to bring up too, and Kerri, tell us a little bit more about this, where I've been on Alignable now for more than 5 years. I've worked here for more than 5 years. And I have to say, and I'm delighted with it, because I've been looking for nice people for 50 years. I mean, my parents can tell you that, and the people who come off as most genuine on Alignable through their comments, through their helping, through their posts, all of that are really the ones that rise to the top and see more benefit sooner. And so, Kerri, do you agree with that? Because I don't want people thinking I'm just being the PR guy here. I have seen that. Have you seen that too? Absolutely.
And I've seen that outside of Alignable as well. The people who are more genuine and more have a heart to help others and just are more authentic seem to get farther faster anywhere, including Alignable. And as I've said it, I'm kind of sound like a broken record, but I've said it many times as we've been talking, those are the people I gravitate towards. Those are the people I want to do business with. Those are the people that I want to learn from and grow with and connect with. One of my best friends, she's a new best friend because I've only been Alignable since March, but I met her on Alignable. And that's outside of business as well. So you just meet so many genuine people. I think Eric mentioned that too early on, that he's made some really, really solid friendships here on Alignable as well.
This other question that goes around in there that someone was asking is about connecting with people. So let's say you see someone you want to connect with and you use a connection credit, but you never hear from them. Or what's the best way to get people to actually engage when you try to connect with them and message them? I mean, one of the things I teach is don't just click connect and not write anything, and don't click those pre-written ones. I don't know if you guys agree with that, or if you have a system on what to put in those personalized messages. How do you get people to connect? And yeah, anything you want to say to that, Eric?
I hate the pre messages. I can't stand them. It's not genuine.
I'll admit I use them every once in a while. It just comes down to time, unfortunately. But taking the time to write a custom message or following up with people after Smart Connect and telling them how you think you can further that relationship goes a long way.
Huge. I love that. Yeah, I think it's just being personal. It's building a relationship. It's not building a relationship to go through and just click, click, click. Like Kerri said when she first started, and I hear this from everybody, they go, oh, I have 10 connection credits. Let's just click connect to the first 10 people I see. And, just remember, you guys, we have over 8 million members on Alignable. And a lot of those members, maybe they don't log in every day like we do. And maybe they closed their business but forgot to shut down their profile. You don't know. So that's why you want to research a little bit. I've had people tell me they go to the profile, they look down below to see if they've even interacted in the last year, and make sure that. So that's why the networking works. That's why it works to go in the groups, and you can see who's actually talking and interacting, and you can interact with them in a group without being connected with them. And then if you feel like you have a connection there, you connect with them, right? So, yeah.
We're going to talk about profiles, by the way.
Yes,
let's talk about
that.
those. I was just going to ask you, so dive right in.
Y'all, if you don't have your profile filled out, you're missing the boat, because your profile has to be complete. When people want to connect, or if there's somebody I think I might want to connect with, the first thing I do is go check out their profile. And if it's not complete, including a banner image at the top, something just feels wrong. It feels incomplete, right? So fill it out. And if you're anything like me, my profile when I started in March compared to what it looks like now is night and day. I was a marketing professional for many, many years. So it's not like I don't know this stuff, but I can tell you the months I've spent on Alignable, I'm like, yeah, I need to fix that like right now. So your profile needs to be complete for several reasons. When I look at a profile and I can tell this person might be a really good strategic partner, or I want to learn from this person, or whatever the case may be. So that is super, super important for me. And Sue has a training specifically on that, on filling out your profile and making sure that it is complete.
Yes, in fact, I just got done doing it today, and I have it as a recurring event now every single Tuesday. So alignableuniversity.com, if hopefully maybe Randy can put it in the chat for everybody.
Just popped it up. Yep.
Oh, good. So put that alignableuniversity.com. That will go to the page that gives you upcoming events like a profile workshop, like I'm on Alignable Now What, in any other events that like masterminds, those are all listed on there, along with any recordings. So there's one called How to Discover Your Ideal Perfect Customer Avatar. So that is really, really important when you're determining on your profile, filling it out and telling Alignable who your ideal customer and referral partners are. So that's really good stuff. The profile, highly recommend. Did you have any tips on profiles that we didn't cover, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. The number one tip that I would give everyone, if I go to somebody's profile and it's not filled out and it's, let's just say it's weak, I don't think they're taking the platform very serious. So I kind of move on typically. I mean, it's not like that for every single time, but it's just kind of the first thing that kind of comes across my mind is this person taking their business serious because they haven't updated their profile? Why wouldn't you?
I love that. And I tell people, if your profile's not filled out and somebody goes to it and it's empty, they are never coming back. They're never coming back. They're not going to write on their calendar, oh, let's go check and see if Sue filled her profile out. I mean, they're not going to do that. So you need to do that now, like right now, if you do not have your profile filled out. So very, very
One
good.
of the things I do with my alliance is I'll do a profile makeover workshop, and I've titled mine Help My Profile is Yucky. And it's got an emoji with the face on it. Because when you're new to the platform, if you don't know, you don't know. So I want to come alongside those new new people and help them, hey, let's get your profile filled out because you'll go further faster.